Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is July the 12th, 2015. My name is Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Daniel Curtis.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Ugh,
well, you got a brand new fancy high-definition microphone, so you have to have a brand new fancy high-definition name to go with it.
Oh, okay. I've been upgraded! Yes!
I can go back to calling you Dan.
So classy.
That's Jess Clarkson.
Yes.
Yes, and Tom Reagan made it back today.
Yeah, in the nick of time.
We had to push the show back. This threw off my Sunday morning.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Because my typical routine is roll out of bed and stumble into the chair and start recording.
So you might actually be able to form coherent thought this week.
And you're actually dressed.
No, not. I actually had to find out what to do with myself for 3 hours, so I went for a run.
Oh, dear.
So you're just sitting in your own sweat right now?
Well, I showered.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But it gets...
But he didn't actually get dressed to go for the run. He just went.
I just came out of bed and just went. It was not a pretty sight.
He works from home now. He doesn't have to get dressed.
Heck yeah. Those are the
Even
best.
when he goes for sales meetings, he just turns up in his underpants.
It's the worst when that happens, though, and people deliver something to your house and you're still in your pajamas at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because working from home.
Or you look down at the clock and it's 4:30 and you haven't showered and you're still in your underpants.
Yes.
It's the best.
That too.
It is the best.
I just feel like there's so much judgment when that happens, though.
To be honest, though, Jess, you work from home most of the time, right?
Yes.
There is still something to be said, though, about maintaining a normal routine where you wake up and you shower and you get dressed. You just feel like you're more productive. Whereas when I wake up and sit in front of my computer in my underpants and I sweat all day, it brings me back to the days where neither Dan or I had a job and we just played games for 10 hours a day.
Yeah, that was some good times.
Oh, those were fun.
That's true, though. There's sometimes, when Andrew and I both worked from home, that we would, our routine was, wake up at, 9:30, 10, then start doing work, and then you worked until, 8 o'clock at night, so it was kind of crappy.
Would you guys ever just kind of look at each other and be like, what the hell are we doing with ourselves?
Sometimes when we would, watch movie trailers all day or something like that, or play with the cats all day instead of working.
That is just truly...
Just the house hasn't been cleaned for about 2 months. There's just a quagmire of rubbish.
That is truly the best feature of working from home or on your own schedule, is just, if you don't want to do something, don't do it. It's the best.
But then it sucks, too, because sometimes you procrastinate too much, and it's just not a good time.
Nah.
See, personally, I couldn't work from home because I would get nothing done. There's so much distraction in the house. Unbelievable. If you in this room I'm sitting in right now, there's just all my game systems, and they would just be calling my name while I was working, and nobody would be checking. So I'd just be like, "Yes, games, more games." And I just like to say on that point that may be the quickest we've ever mentioned games in an episode of Factory Sealed.
I blame you. That is solely your fault.
It is.
I don't even think we're 3 minutes in.
I do apologize.
And the word game got mentioned.
I'm sorry. I've let the side down.
No,
I blame the new microphone.
You are right, though, Dan. It is kind of distracting. Especially now I bought the PlayStation TV solely so I could hook it up to my computer monitor so that when Christy is watching TV or doing something out in the living room, I can be playing my PS4 in here because it streams it. And I look at it, and it's just the little PlayStation symbol during work. It's like, play me, play. But
he does.
I usually set my schedule up so I'm out in the field Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I just stay at home Monday, Friday. So every week's a 4-day weekend, kind of.
Nice.
Do you guys have a separate room for doing your work in? Like to keep work separate from home, or do you just kind of mix it in?
I've got I work from a laptop, but I try to stay in my office most of the time. But
Yeah.
it's next to my gaming computer, and this is kind of like my / gaming room. So yeah, it can be distracting. But
We have an office, but Andrew and I have desks like in our office right beside each other. So sometimes shit just doesn't get done. And we have a couch for the pouses to sit in
the what?
when we're working. The
say what now?
pouses.
The pouses.
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 Pouses?
Like your purses? Like
No,
you have
like
a
the
couch for your
pouses.
purse?
The
The hell's a
cat.
pouses?
A cat.
What?
I've heard a lot of
poos
stupid
cat.
shit in my day, but that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, it's so cool. The cool
Wow, the
kids are calling
Canadians
it
have
that.
went to a whole new level with that one.
Can you spell that for me, Jess?
Pouss. Poos.
Poos!
I have to say it that way too.
Like I can't. I don't even know what I don't.
That could just be my friend's thing. Maybe.
Are you
So
sure
you-
they're not saying puss?
Yes.
Like I could
You
understand them saying
Yes.
my pussy, and it being my cat, but then coming from you, that would have a whole different thing. It's like you have a couch just for that.
It's that big.
Can imagine going around Jess's, she'd just be like, now don't sit there, that's the poos couch. You can't sit there.
That's where I keep my poos.
Then everybody who comes in goes, what the hell's a poos?
Do you have to actually explain that to people?
Not to my friends.
So
They all
do you call it a paw poos?
No. Just a poos.
I don't get it.
Does Andrew condone this?
Yeah.
Does he call them pooses?
Yeah.
You sure you're not just hearing it wrong?
Nope. That explains so much.
I have so many questions.
Can we just do the rest of the podcast about this? About what's wrong with Canadian people?
I don't know. Like, my friend called his cat that, and then maybe that's how it happened with our group.
Are you
of
sure that
friends,
wasn't just the
maybe?
cat's name?
No. No. I'm going to Google this to see if it's a thing.
It's not a thing.
Did you Google it?
No, but it's still not a thing. If it is a thing, it shouldn't be a thing, because it's so stupid.
I make fun of Dan for a lot of the shit that he calls things, but at least I can understand where he's coming from.
At least that's based in logic. This is just mad.
Let's see. Urban Dictionary.
But you have, like, explain the size of this couch.
It's just like a love seat.
So it's an actual couch for the cats.
Well, no, we
It's
have
not
a
like
couch
a-
there just in case we want to sit there, but the cats take
But
it
it's
over.
not like a cat-sized couch. It's a full-sized couch for the cats.
Yeah.
For the poos.
No,
You're
I
right.
refuse to call them pooses.
Oh, by the way,
Apparently,
I've just
it's-
Googled it. And,
The puff of hair that comes out of the hole in the back of a snapback hat.
What?
I don't know. That's what Urban Dictionary
What the hell
says.
is going on?
I'm unconvinced.
The puff of hair that comes out of the hole in the back of a snapback, or someone who wimps out, has no balls, and is more or less a bitch.
So a
I
pussy.
guess they're cats. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, just call them pussy.
No,
Why?
because that just seems so like vulgar. Maybe there should be an E at the
I
end.
can think of a lot more vulgar words that you could call someone.
Oh yeah, we could do a whole podcast on that.
Yes. It's kind of like that episode
Oh my
from
God,
Family Guy where
poos.
Peter starts that.
Colloquial Scots term for cat.
Fuck yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dan, why did you have to validate her idiocy?
Yeah, but the top definition is poos, vagina, shortened version of pussy.
Yes.
Example, hey, want some poos.
So matter of fact. Just, hey, want some poos?
How much poos you
Want
got?
Want a poos, yo?
Jess, have you ever used that as a pickup line for Andrew? Like, is that how you guys got together? You just were in a bar one night and you saw him and you walked over to him and you're like, hey, want some poos?
Yeah, I was actually thought that was really weird that was online because that was totally what happened to us.
And he's like, poos,
Did
yeah.
you write this Urban Dictionary entry?
Oh, I did actually.
Oh, no.
I don't even know what we
Poos
were...
can mean a lot of things, people. Poos, when somebody consistently backs out of getting wasted, giving various excuses.
No, I'm going to stick with the very first one of, hey, want some poos? Like, that's just just a simple matter-of-fact question. Like, would you like this bill broken into 5s or 10s? Like, no, would you like some poos? Like,
Let us know how that goes.
I can't comprehend how matter-of-fact that is. Oh, man, I got to tell Christy about that one.
A poos can be a person's place of residence.
That's a house.
Jess, does this mean everything?
It's just
there is 23 entries.
Could you imagine living in a poos?
I don't want
Poos,
to go there.
Number 16, everyone. This is it, right? Poos, the answer to many of life's big questions.
Oh, for guys,
Apparently.
totally.
Example, should we go to a gay club? I'm not sure. Do you have your gay poos with you? What the hell's going?
Does
See, it's totally a word.
I can't. I just can't.
All right, moving on from poos.
I don't even know how we got here.
She just said it. She's gone mad.
Oh, we were talking about working from home,
Yeah.
and Jess has a poos
The
couch.
pooses.
Can you send me a picture of this poos couch? Does it look like a
Please
poos?
don't.
No, it's just like a regular white love seat.
If your poos is white, you should get that looked at.
Well, it depends on your ethnicity.
Oh. This is going downhill
There was
rapidly again.
Speaking of pooses,
Oh, no.
there's a shopping center here in Phoenix that was built for the Super Bowl, not the last time it was here, but the time before, and it's called Westgate. And there was a restaurant there called Margaritaville, and they had these giant seashells hung up around the outside of it. I mean, they were probably 6, 7, 8 feet tall. And the first time Christy and I ever went to the shopping center, we looked up at it, and they just looked like giant vaginas hanging on the wall. And it just kind of became this running joke where whenever we'd see them, we'd just start chuckling. But we went there last weekend, and the place had closed down, and I didn't even notice that they were gone. And Christy looked up, she's like, the vaginas are gone. And like, it just took me a second to process what she was saying.
You were like, no.
No, that's my worst nightmare. All the pooses are gone. Good God. So this week, I think I sent you guys a picture of this. I was digging through some of my stuff, and I found my old Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
You found a lot of stuff this week.
I found tons of stuff. Because when we moved in, I never really took the time to fully unpack all my stuff because we had Ellie. And then by the time I got around to thinking about unpacking it, she was starting to become mobile. So it's like, I'm just going to leave it in a box so she doesn't play with it. And I was digging through a closet the other day, and there was this huge white box on the top shelf that it said something about chemicals. I'm like, surely there can't be chemicals in there. And I open it up, and it's all my old Game Boy stuff. I have probably like 25 Game Boy Advance games still in box, and then at the bottom I found all my loose Game Boy games with my old Game Boy, and that shit still works.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Did you guys ever have it?
Do you still,
I don't know what happened to my Game Boys. I don't know where they've gone.
do you still have the back cover that covers the batteries?
No, unfortunately I don't. I feel like that's the one piece that everybody loses.
Yeah.
It still works though, and I have absolutely no idea how anybody, myself included, actually played anything on that console back in the day.
It's so blurry.
Well, not that it's blurry, you just can't see shit.
And no light.
And if you're in direct light, then you get a huge reflection off the screen.
Did anybody have one of those LED lights you could plug into them?
Yeah, like the little snake top.
And you had to, you had to angle them
swirly.
in certain ways. Like, I vividly remember in my childhood playing on Pokemon Red. My friend had Pokemon Blue, and we'd both be sat in his living room, just like trying to angle it so you could actually see what was happening.
Yeah.
I was playing through
good times.
Battletoads on there, and it just became this like, okay, I'm this blob, and that is not me, so I'm going to press one of the two buttons to attack that blob and hope I don't die. Even when you adjust the contrast on it, it still doesn't make it any better.
I forgot that there was a contrast setting.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it was rough.
What's Battletoads like? Is it the same as the
It's
other versions,
It's
or is
very
it totally different?
similar to the NES version. Very similar. It's a different game, but very similar.
Okay.
So it's
In
fun.
terms of difficulty and everything.
Oh yeah, very very difficult. I made it to the second level, I think,
That's
Jeez.
good.
and that's saying something.
Same as usual Battletoads. Then.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Speaking of that, guys, I went and tried it. My God.
the
Which version?
the NES one,
Same what the SNES, I think.
the one that
SNES?
you and I played.
No, it was Genesis, the one that Tom played on his video. Oh God, I got to the speeder bike level. Oh no, it was horrendous.
There's something.
How are you meant to do that without save states? But I watched Tom's video and he completely aced it for about 2 minutes and then just whacked into a wall. I was like, "Oh, you were doing so well."
Yeah.
But I hit that warp. I hit that warp that you were on about, Tom,
Oh, you did?
where it skips you forward 2 levels.
Does it work?
Oh,
It does work, and it took me to another level, which is basically like the speeder bike level, but you're on a surfboard and you have to avoid bits of wood, and other obstacles in the water. And I tried that. I couldn't even avoid the wood, and I just went, nah, stopping. Because it was ridiculous.
I heard about that level. Yeah, I heard that was just like even harder than the speeders.
No,
But at least
it's
you
like-
skipped the ice one.
I don't even know how you can do it because you can't move quick enough to actually dodge the bits of wood. So I don't know.
That game will haunt us to the day.
It's fun though. There's something addicting about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We should still play co-op on that one on the Genesis version because it's really good playing with a friend on that one.
We can do that this afternoon or after the show. I've got some time.
Yeah, me too.
But Dan and I, before we get into the meat of what we decided to talk about for this show, Dan and I got together yesterday, and we were going to originally try to play some Diddy Kong Racing online, but didn't really feel like taking the brain power to figure out the N64 net play stuff. We had it working at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, but you were part of that when we were playing Mario Kart 64 and it started glitching out and it was all hyper mode on Rainbow Road and Matt was a part of it and he's like, I don't even understand what's happening. It was just this glitched out mess.
and we played another one and it was pretty crappy too.
What were we
can't
trying
remember.
to play? I know at some point we had it working properly, but I think when it was trying to pull 4 people in, it was just too much. I decided instead to introduce Dan to a little game called Smash TV.
I remember that.
Oh.
I remember Smash.
Originally,
I had no idea what it was.
It was originally a Midway arcade game from back in the day, and it's the best way to describe it is a top-down twin stick shooter game show wherein you and one other person battle from room to room through just hordes of impossible enemies, collecting cash and toasters and VCRs and slick roadsters in a pursuit to climb to the top of the leaderboard. And that's the whole game.
Have you guys ever watched The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally like that, right?
Mm-hmm. It's really it's such an interesting concept because it's not a co-op game where you necessarily work together because you're ultimately trying to be...
The hell's that noise? Is there somebody in the dentist's?
No, Annie's vacuuming.
Oh.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
It's having dental surgery on the poos couch.
I thought somebody was building something. But no, back to Smash TV. It's not necessarily a game where you're competing against each other, fighting, because you want to work together, but you kind of want to work together just enough where you can still screw the other person over. Like you strategize about, hey, you cover the top and I'm going to cover the bottom, but then when all of the cash shows up, it's just a fucking free for all because you don't give a shit what happens to the other person. And
Nice.
if you're a loot whore, this game is a ton of fun.
And we are.
Oh, yeah. There are times... It's so difficult, too. It's just unnecessarily difficult. They'll drop cash and prizes on top of landmines, and if you're not paying attention to where the mines are, you'll go for this big present and explode in the process.
That's what you get for your greed.
It was so much fun.
But it was proper crazy though, because like even though the cash would appear in like the middle of all the enemies, me and him would just charge in. And bear in mind, you die if you get hit once. So
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
you get 5 lives and a few continues, but like if you do die if you get touched. So
Wait,
we were just charging in. It was
I've
just crazy.
seen a video of that game, and there's like swarms of enemies. So you're telling me that one of those
Yeah.
guys touches you, and that's it, one life
That's
gone.
it.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Dan and I actually
That's
just posted a video of it. I put it up last night, and
Okay,
we're gonna be.
I'll
I'm typing up a Factory Sealed Relives article about it, but it's a blast. We actually made it past the first major enemy, which, by the way, those bosses are insane, just absolutely insane. So much health, so many different stages.
I've never seen a boss with so much health.
I think that first boss had. Let's think about this. He came out. You had to blow off both of his arms. So that's one stage. No, you had to blow off the cannons.
No, you had to destroy the tanks first.
You had to destroy the cannons, so that's stage 1. Then the arms, stage 2. Then his head, stage 3. Then his body, stage 4. Then he spouts another head, stage 5. Then you have to destroy the tank itself. There's 6 stages to the first boss, and it's about a 7.
What is he that he can live without a head and arms?
He's a mechanical
and
tank.
body.
But when you explode his head, it explodes into about 1 million heads, which fly all over the screen in like a crazy hyper drug thing.
That's terrifying.
And the only
Maybe you guys didn't.
the only way you can actually injure him is with special weapons that randomly drop in the middle of the map, and if you even remotely touch 1 pixel of the boss, you die. And meanwhile, he's shooting insta-kill lasers all over the map at you. And we discovered there are 2 spots that you can hide. It's mostly along the top row. He can't shoot you up there, but he can still run you over. But in the very top right corners, if you tuck yourself into those corners, he can't shoot you or run you over. So it just becomes this delicate dance of, okay, he's on that side, and then you have to, you see a power-up show up, and you're like, okay, can I go for it? And you run for it, and then he runs you over, and you die, and you're like, well, fuck, that didn't work. And then
You can't actually hurt him though unless you get one of the power-ups. Like your standard gun does no damage. So
you spend a lot of time aiming explosive beach volleyballs at him.
yes.
And they go a certain distance.
Which make a high-pitched noise for some reason. We're not sure why.
We were so proud that we actually beat him. The first time we died, so the second time we went through, we beat him. And they went to the scoreboard and we're like, okay, cool. Well, that's the end of the game. Because I always just thought it was just one level. Because that's as far as I'd ever really made it. And we got through the scoreboard. And then they pop us into level 2, and level 2 is insane. We made it to Dan made it halfway through the first room before dying completely, and then I think I made it through 3 rooms in there, and it was just game over. There's no way. If you try to play through it by yourself, you're toast.
It's so difficult.
They have-
It's really fun though. I had a lot of fun with it.
Couldn't you guys upgrade your weapons or anything for the bosses?
Nope.
Or do you just have one standard weapon and then the bonus ones you talked about?
Just
Bonus ones, they only last for a certain amount of time.
it's a lot
So
like
you grab them, you use them, and then they're gone.
it's a lot like Contra, where they just drop down and you pick them up and you get a certain amount of bullets with them.
Oh god, Contra is such a difficult game.
This is
I've
like-
been playing the one on the DS, and it's quite difficult.
This is like Contra top down.
Okay.
It's really difficult. There's a Xbox 360 remake of it that is really fun. You can actually, because we were playing in the Super Nintendo version, so you have to move using the D-pad and then shoot the different directions using the face buttons. And we discovered about halfway through the video that you can shoot diagonally by holding 2 of the buttons together, but it's not as intuitive now as if you were to use 2 sticks.
Yeah.
Well, I would actually like to say that I discovered that at the start, but you didn't.
Well, you didn't tell me.
Because he wanted to screw you over.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
whole
he
To
wanted-
be
premise.
fair,
wants
I
all the
got
loot.
a lot more points than him.
Yeah, he did. For some reason, he just rocked my tits off. And then he died, and I made it through 2 more cash rooms and came out on top.
Yeah.
I actually found out, Dan, there is a way you can play this on the PS3. There's a Midway Arcade Collections game for PS3 that has the original on it.
Okay.
So, if you ever wanted
So does it use the sticks instead?
I'm assuming so, and that uses online multiplayer. So that'd be kind of
nice.
fun to look into.
Intriguing.
Definitely a ton of fun. To me, this game kind of defines what it was to play couch co-op together. Obviously, we can't be in the same room playing together, but it's a fantastic co-op game.
Agreed.
Let's see.
Well worth checking out if you've got a few minutes on a boring Sunday. When, of course, you're not listening to us.
Oh man! All right, so should we get into it? This has been a show a long time in the coming. I know we've talked about it before, and there's been a lot of alluding to it. But I think we need to settle once and for all what is the best kart racing game of all time. And
Before we get into that, I would just like to commend everybody's commitment to this week, because it's been fantastic.
Yeah, we usually play like 8 minutes of a game, but
especially if you're Jess.
Yeah.
We still have yet.
I'm going more on 5.
We still have yet to hear if Jess actually played anything, so that, save your congratulations for a little bit here. Jess, did you play the games?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I didn't know we were waiting.
So we decided to this week play Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, and Crash Team. And as far as I'm aware, we all put in a pretty hefty amount of time on these games, so we can actually talk knowledgeably about which one of these is the best. And I'm gonna be honest, I do have a little bit of a bias towards Diddy Kong, but I'm going to come in and be objective about this.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
Yeah. So let's.
I don't like it when he's objective. It worries me.
What, you'd rather have me be just ignorantly biased?
Completely
obnoxious, ignorant as usual.
Oh, I can
Just
certainly.
normal.
I can certainly do that if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be good.
Hold on, my cat needs to get out.
That's all right. We'll wait. It's
His poos needs to be let out.
What?
He's
said
unleashed
your poos.
the poos.
Yeah, I could have said poos if I were thinking, but it's a stupid word. So, what do we want to start with, guys? Well, first of all, let's just talk about how much of each game we played, just so we can kind of have a frame of reference.
I think probably halfway through Diddy Kong and Crash Team and Mario Kart, I just played the whole thing because it doesn't take very long.
Yeah, I'm impressed, Jess. Way to go!
Right?
Woo! Amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah,
yeah.
I played.
This is the first game Jess has ever played.
No. Jess actually earned some pretty big points for finishing Suikoden.
Right?
So she's still got a little bit of credit that she can withdraw from.
And Jess played the correct version of Battletoads.
Shut up.
True story. Getting up in the
That was just a convenience thing, because we would have spent hours trying to prepare the NES emulator.
Yeah,
Because Eric can't play by himself; he panics.
I do. I don't know how to play alone.
He just cries. He just wanders back and forth pressing buttons.
Tom, how much did you play?
I played probably about half of the adventure on Crash Team, and collected about 10 balloons on Diddy Kong. So I'm not sure how far that is.
Not far at all.
And then, not that far. And then, I played like a decent amount of Mario, probably a little bit more than Diddy Kong.
Okay.
So yeah, like I probably got a third to half on each game.
Nice.
Nice.
But I didn't complete anything. No. Dan?
I got up to World 4 on Diddy Kong, after originally writing it off as terrible, but then I got up to World 4.
You're welcome.
And then Mario Kart I played for about 4 minutes, because it's atrocious. and then Crash Team Racing, I played Adventure Mode twice.
Oh, can you tell everybody
right.
why you had to play through it twice?
I can't.
Please.
Well, basically, you know how nowadays games save automatically?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of forgot.
Oh my
So,
god.
I had seven trophies, and I saved it. And then I got all of the trophies, beat the last
man.
boss, and then switched it off.
Oh my god. See, I'm from a time when I would turn my TV off and leave my PlayStation on and go to school and come back and turn the TV on because I hadn't reached a save point in time.
Yeah.
So I oh man.
I will say,
can't
though,
imagine
that
doing it.
Diddy Kong...
I don't even have that for an excuse, though, because on Crash Team Racing the save points are quite frequent, and you can visit them every time you finish a race.
Diddy Kong automatically saves, though. You don't need to go to a save point. You just turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what
true.
threw me.
Yeah.
That's what threw
That threw me as well.
So I played
go for it.
through all of Crash Team, rolled the credits on the adventure. Obviously, that's technically the halfway point. if you want to go for everything. Diddy Kong, I got through all the races the first time and then half of them the second time because you have to you have to go through the silver coin challenges to get the Whiz Pig amulets to unlock the final boss. And then obviously I've played thousands of hours of Mario Kart, so I think we've got a good frame of reference going into this.
I like it.
Which one do we want to start with?
I feel like Mario Kart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way because I played it.
I still love it.
See, and I take the other stance. I used to really like it, but now that I go back to it, it's like, this is shit.
It is proper
Yeah.
bollocks, that, mate.
I never liked Mario Kart 64. I liked Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, but not the N64 version.
See, I think the N64 version still looks like the SNES version. So, it's
Really?
Yeah, it's like, the graphics, it reminds me of do you ever play a Super Mario RPG?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what the graphics remind me of.
Really?
And it looks really terrible.
It's just with Super Mario Kart 64, you never get that sense of speed. Like, I always feel like I'm going pretty slow on the game. Also, the very first track is really... I mean, the first track is always kind of just standard, like getting you into it, like learning the controls and what have you. But compare that to the first track on Crash Team and the first track on Diddy Kong, it's just... It doesn't really draw you in. Like, I was kind of bored during the Mushroom Cup phase. And yeah, it's a sense of speed, and like in a kart racing game, that's such a huge deal.
Well, the other thing
What
too
annoys
is
me
that
about Mario Kart is it doesn't have anything to work towards.
no.
There's
Yeah.
no adventure component, so I'm just
Yeah.
like, right, what am I doing?
Well, there is something to work toward where you can get the mirrored tracks, and that's about it. But you're right.
I don't like those.
There's absolutely nothing to unlock. There's no secret characters. There's no extra tracks. There's nothing to unlock. So basically, from the time you unbox the game and put it into the cartridge till the time you stop playing it 10 years from now, it's the same thing. There's nothing different. And I don't know. I can't get behind it anymore because it's just like, I think Tom hit on the point. It's a kart racing game. There's absolutely zero sense of speed. And it just, the one thing that bothers me the most about it is the rubber band AI. No matter how well you're doing, there's always somebody right on your ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I love it for playing it as a group. Like playing it with friends, it's probably one of the best ones, I think, because you don't have to put a lot into it. Like, you just go, and I think that there's a lot more competition between people because you have all of the different items you can get and stuff, and I think it takes less skill in a sense.
It's a really
which is fun.
good pick up and play game.
Yeah.
It's a great party game where even if somebody's not a gamer, they can pick it up and they can play it. So it's good for people who just kind of want something quick and easy and like, here we go, let's play.
Yeah, and it is one of those games where you can turn up to any house party or something, and they've always got Mario Kart. It's always that one game that everyone knows how to play because it's just, like you say, pick up and play, easy to learn and stuff.
And they reuse the track so much too between versions that like you always feel a sense of like familiarity. I've played this one before. I know what to do.
It's not difficult in any sense. I think once we start talking about Diddy Kong and CTR, you'll realize Mario Kart is about as simplistic as it gets. And I think that's kind of one of its saving graces. But the other thing too that I really like is the Grand Prix mode, where it's not just, okay, choose a race. Okay, choose another race. Okay, choose a race. It's, let's go through this series. And even if you don't get first place, okay, you can still move on. Whereas some of the other games, like, you have to get first place. And it just gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, that's true. It's not all over if you just don't quite, get the gold medal.
Yeah.
But I think, like, when I look at the controls as well, I just don't feel like I can do as much on Mario. Like, I don't feel like I can really... rip the hell out of my kart compared to Crash and Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
Like, really, I'm focusing on the R button. Like,
Yeah.
And even that doesn't really do much.
I was playing as Yoshi, and it was just like boing, boing.
Yeah.
I was like, what does this do, really? Like, I'm sure if you're really skilled at Mario, you can get pretty good with that, but I just couldn't master it in any way. What I like with compared with Crash and Diddy Kong was you could hit R and then get a bit of oversteer and then turn your front wheels the opposite way and actually like drift around a corner, and that really felt like you were going quickly and you actually had full control of your kart. And that's the thing with Mario that I just struggle with, was that I just didn't feel like I had very much control of the whole thing.
Well, they introduced a boost concept into the Mario Kart games later, but this one doesn't have it. And I think going back to that, sure, there are the boost pads that you can occasionally hit, but it's just a slow game.
Yeah. They're the slowest of the boost pads.
I do really, really enjoy the weapons that come along in Mario Kart, though. That is kind of the one thing when you're talking about these kart racing games is obviously you need to have good weapons that are well balanced, and as we get into Diddy Kong, I'll admit it's pretty lacking in the weapons category. I think Crash is kind of on par with Mario Kart, but Mario Kart kind of set the precedent with the different types of weapons and how they change the flow of the race. But I still don't think that offsets the fact that there's not much to this game.
Yeah, I agree. I had no enthusiasm to actually play the damn thing, so yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up between the graphics and the actual not. I prefer a sense of progression when I play a game. I need a reason to play it rather than just sit and do mindless races.
Would you have preferred them to just throw in an adventure mode as well? Because Mario's always been really good with having awesome boss battles. I think they could have done something really cool with an adventure mode, kind of like what they did with CTR and Diddy Kong, where you have boss races, or you could turn a race into some sort of battle where you have to attack the enemy so many times. I think they could have done something really cool with that.
Yeah, they could have, but it's just not there. So, what about on the more modern ones? Is that in now, or is it still the same?
Still the same. It's you go through the cups.
But the latest one for the Wii U, they've added what I think is really cool is kart customization and upgrades, and you can put different parts on it that affect different pieces of the race, and it's cool, but it's still just the same basic core concept. And I understand, like, hey, don't fix something that's not broken, but
yeah. But would that not elevate it further? Because it's an extra component for people to play. You don't have to play it, but you can still have the core.
It would certainly entice me to play it more.
I know, me too. Because with the other ones, I've enjoyed playing both of them because there's a sense of you actually unlocking things as you go.
Yeah,
getting all the items and stuff. Like, I'm terrible with when there's collectibles on a game because I will try and get them all.
I think when Super Mario Kart came out, they really banked on the whole 4-player multiplayer thing. Like, everybody who had an N64 having 4 controllers and just being able to plug them straight in and have a quick game of Mario Kart. Like, that was their angle, I guess.
The game did look really good when it first came out.
Yeah, it did. I remember, actually.
Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I think...
But that's the thing, like, I didn't mind the graphics. I thought they were even better than Crash Team. I thought that one didn't age very well.
Crash has not aged well.
I think the same one.
I think Crash looks great.
I think it looks great as well.
Yeah.
It's got a fluidity to it that the others don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry.
And I've only just discovered on the Crash Team Racing how to use the turbo drift function, so I've been rocketing around the tracks.
Yeah.
Nice.
That stuff's great. As a child, I didn't know that. So.
I do like the weapons as well with Crash Team and with Mario as well. They work, but I like with Crash Team. You've got like manual bombs that you can fire, but you've also got the homing missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And also the kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's like a blue web thing that basically takes out everybody.
It's a warp game, Tom. Haven't you played Crash 3?
You're talking about Crash Team?
Crash Team. That makes sense. Yeah.
I think before we move on to the one last thing that I wanted to say about Mario Kart in terms of appeal to people is a lot of people have more connection with the Mario universe and the characters within. So I could see that being a huge appeal. Like, everybody's got their favorite character. I mean, I personally always choose Yoshi, and I know someone that always plays Luigi, and some people prefer Toad, and then you've got the idiots that like Bowser and Waluigi and Donkey Kong.
Peach for life.
But I think with CTR...
I use that secret character called Pouses all the time.
I think with Crash Team and Diddy Kong, that's kind of where it's lacking. I mean, how many people honestly know all of the characters. They have a connection to all of the characters from Crash Team. And Diddy Kong, the only people that you're really going to recognize in there are going to be Diddy Kong and Banjo. And that's it.
But not if you played it originally, because Banjo wasn't out when Diddy Kong Racing came out.
That's true.
Actually, Conker and Banjo are first introduced in Diddy Kong Racing.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
Yes. Really?
I did not know that.
No.
Interesting fact for you there.
Thanks, Dan. You have just ratcheted up the intelligence level of this show a few points.
Wikipedia to the rescue.
Oh, you just pulled the curtain back way too far. Let's talk about Crash Team, because this is one that I don't think many people have played. I've played it occasionally. I think my friend introduced it to me for the first time in college, and it really rubbed me the wrong way then, and I kind of had to force myself to play it. I started playing it a few months ago when I first bought it on PSN, and then I sat down to play it again. I'm like, Jesus, this is difficult. And I forced myself through it and, made it through to the end of the game. But, Dan, you're kind of the resident expert on it.
Well, I don't know if it's just because I played it a lot when I was a kid, but I don't find it difficult in the slightest. I did not lose one race when going through the trophy races twice.
Really?
Really?
See, and that's probably...
Then when you get past the trophy races and you get to the CTR challenges, it gets even harder.
Oh, yeah.
So I have lost one of them. But, even the bosses, I'll beat them all first time, even the last one.
And I think that could be the fact that you have played this so much and you know the tracks. Like the Mario Kart game, I played that so often I could do those tracks in my sleep. But this game coming into it, for someone who hasn't played it as much as you, this game is beyond difficult at times. It's just unrelentingly difficult, especially in the fourth world.
Are you using the boost move?
Yes.
Do you know about this?
Yes, I did. And let me talk about that for a second. That boost maneuver is...
That's like the...
Yeah.
Oh, what is that? Drift and boost, right?
Yes. So
power slide, then you have to press L1 at the right moment to boost.
There is no reason that a boost maneuver should require 5-button inputs.
It doesn't. It requires X, R1, and L1. That's 3.
But you're also steering with the D-pad.
But it works. It's fine. The way it's mapped is perfect.
It does, but it's a very difficult concept to pick up for someone who's not proficient with that. So you can see where you've been doing it for so long that it's just come second nature. That
No, I haven't. I didn't know about the turbo boost until I bought it yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
So I used to play it without that. I knew about the power slide, but I didn't know how to do the turbo boost. So
it took me a while to pick up on
yesterday, which is why I've blitzed through it now, because it's just so cool.
It took me a while to pick up on that because I was watching that meter down in the bottom right for when it would turn red, and then I noticed that the pipes turn black when you're ready to boost, so you can just watch your tailpipe and not have to take your eyes off the track.
Because the mask guy tells you that.
Oh, does he? I didn't listen.
So
I was waiting for him. I was waiting for him to tell me that because I didn't know which button it was. And then he eventually popped up. God, that guy speaks slowly.
Yeah,
I know.
He's full of good hints, though.
He is full of good hints, but by the time he's finished, you're asleep. So it's like when you are drifting around the corner,
press the X
L1 button to boost.
Thanks for that.
I think I kept a consistent accent there, everyone. That was
it started to drift a little bit at the end, but you did it. It was good.
Yes.
Jeez.
Finally.
We're really stepping up here. I do have to say that the air race track in the fourth world is a piece of shit.
Oh, I love that level.
It's like Rainbow Road on crack.
The ice one?
No, the airship one.
Hot Air Speedway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's...
Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
What are you going to ask?
I was going to say, do you guys know about all the shortcuts on the levels?
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few.
Yeah.
I don't think I hit one shortcut.
Do you know about the Tiger Temple shortcut, which is hidden behind a wall?
No.
No?
Oh, about halfway through the Tiger Temple track. There's if you look to the left, there's a slightly discoloured section of wall.
I was wondering about that.
And if you hit it with a bomb or a potion or something like that, it opens up and brings up a shortcut. Huh. Then you can go through and you can basically just absolutely kick everyone's ass because there's just nobody else uses it.
So that's why you've been like winning this. Is
Yeah, I
because
know
you know all
I
the
know all the
shortcuts.
shortcuts.
It was
Like on Cortex Castle, there's one where you have to angle off a jump, and you can go left over a pit, and you jump up this section, just skips out an entire corner, and just shaves
so that's how you beat
seconds
the
on
bosses. I will admit that I legitimately beat every one of these bosses, and
And
That's
that is
tough.
legit. It's built into the game to use. You just have to have the
I
skill
meant
to do
not
it.
using shortcuts.
I think it's the knowledge to do
Yeah.
it, not necessarily the skill to take the shortcuts.
Yeah.
But if you've played the CTR challenges, you'll know about these because you usually have to use them to get the CTR tokens.
So let's talk about the adventure mode for a second and kind of how this works, because if somebody's only ever played Mario Kart, they're going to have absolutely no idea what an adventure mode in a kart racing game is. Crash is broken into 4 kind of worlds, and then each world has different tracks within it, and each track you need to collect a trophy. And once you collect all the trophies, then you can challenge the boss. And then when you beat the boss, you can move on to the next world, rinse, repeat. So it's not super complex, but it's enough to kind of keep it fresh. But the bosses in this game, I like difficult games, but I don't like difficult games that are hard just for the sake of being hard. And Crash is hard just for the sake of being difficult. And it's not like, oh, you really have to be strategic about this. It's just, it's stupid how difficult these bosses can be, because they're faster than you, they're always out in front of you, and they just throw things that explode constantly. And it just becomes a race of pure fucking luck if you're going to get through it.
Because I found too, like, when
it
I would
doesn't.
catch up to the boss, and I would, like, because I felt when you were doing the boss battles, they would give you the missiles the most, which was
Yes, they
awesome.
do.
Because then you could just knock the boss
Yeah.
back. But it was almost as if, like, when he was behind me and I was a good bit ahead of him, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he would just, like, sneak up behind me and go around me. Like, it was... felt like it
This
wasn't
is why
really...
this is why you keep some missiles for when they go past you, because then you can shoot them straight away.
Yeah, but
But
catching
he
up to
shouldn't be
them
just,
is hard enough in itself.
that quickly.
Well, the last boss actually cheats and goes over the starting line before the timer's even gone.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that.
What a little
So,
bastard.
But the secret to the bosses is, first of all, get the Wumpa crates, because when you get 10 of them, you go quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, they're fruit things,
keep
right?
Keep some missiles. Yes, that's the fruit in the crates. The more you get, the faster you go.
Well, they give you better weapons
So-
too, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They upgrade the weapons, and you've got 10. But then you use the boost move to get as close as you can. Shoot them with a missile, stuns them, burn ahead for a bit, use all the boost pads you can, shortcuts if you know them, and then as soon as he comes past, shoot a missile at him, and he knocks him back again.
But, like,
So-
why... I don't know. I just don't like the fact that it's, like, almost cheating of them to just make the boss, like, all of a sudden get this burst of speed that they didn't have before.
Yeah.
Like, I think it should be consistent.
Then it would just be a normal race, and it wouldn't be a boss challenge.
But then make him a better driver, like, fast pretty much throughout the whole
And
thing.
make
like,
him
I just don't like that.
make him use the same
They're
weapons that
inconsistent.
you've got at your disposal, just more frequently use them. Because I didn't see in this game throughout many of the races the other enemies using the weapons all that much.
No, they do.
Yeah, who was the chick in it? Coco?
Coco Bandicoot.
She was a bitch. and kept hitting with me with those missiles.
I like all the things that people say when they go past you as well in that game. It's really good.
Yeah, I like the little sound bites. That was one of the things I liked about
Yeah.
it. And even just little, like, you may not have known about this, but if you've got like a TNT on your head and you just keep hitting
You
R1,
can get it off.
then
Yeah,
the
it
TNT
knocks
will
it off your
fly
head.
off. Yeah,
The masked man told me that too.
yeah. He's
Very
full of good tips.
very slowly, he told you. So who did everybody play as? Which character did you use?
Played as Crash.
The
Okay,
I
Crash
played-
as well.
I played as Crash as well.
I did the poos.
The Poos.
Oh, the little
Pura?
tiger thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are the major differences between some of the characters? I know that I know the differences in Mario.
They have
Kart,
they have different speed stats and stuff like that.
but they don't really make that abundantly clear, do they?
Yeah, mine was
But
super
It's on the
well
adventure
balanced.
screen where it shows you everybody's levels. If you scroll through the characters, it says like Crash, Cortex, and somebody else a beginner, and then there's intermediate, and then there's expert. So
I just
you
went
pick
with
which one
Crash
you want.
because it's named after Crash, and I figured he'd be a pretty balanced character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just an all-rounder. I think
He's
if you go with like the polar bear, he might have like better handling, but he's really slow. And then maybe, what is it, the tiny tiger?
Purra.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be like really quickly, but he handles like dog shit.
No, he was like super beginner. That's why I picked
Oh,
him.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh
no,
I
you're
mean, like,
you're talking about the little tiger, Jess. We're talking about tiny tiger, who's the big guy who
Oh.
goes past you, go tiny, crush puny cars.
yeah,
Sorry.
he's like the Bowser of the game.
Oh, okay.
How's that go, Dan?
Tiny crush puny cars.
I like the. Oh,
I
go
was
on.
gonna say I really like the weapons in this game. I think they were a ton of fun. They were super varied, and I felt like there weren't particularly any weapons that sucked. You had your standard fare missiles. The Tiki Mask was like the Warp Star from Mario. The TNT box, the Nitro box, and then the 2 potions, and then
What was the difference though between the bubble and the mask?
the bubble was kind of like
the
a
mask makes you go quicker.
yeah. The bubble was a shield that would protect you, but you could also shoot it forward at someone.
Really?
Yeah, press circle twice and it shoots it.
Oh.
And then the mask makes you go quicker, but you can actually hit people with it as well, and it makes them go flying.
Yeah, I
And
did
knocks-
that.
The bomb was awesome,
And,
but super difficult to use.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that
it's
is
like the
tough.
green shells, I think.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about they can throw bombs backwards?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
But you can't throw
Yeah,
the
you can-
potions
you can-
forward.
Yes, you
No,
can.
they
Yeah, you can.
automatically throw forward because I nailed myself with a potion the first time.
No, you have to press. I think it's up and circle to throw it forward,
Yeah, you can.
and then
Definitely.
just circle drops it behind you.
You can't do it with TNT and Nitro. But
Oh,
you can do it
maybe
with,
I was
you can
just-
definitely do it with
So
the potion.
Dan, what was
Then
the?
with the bombs, you can manually detonate them as well when they're going. Just wait till the
Oh,
near
shit!
someone,
I
press
didn't
circle
know
and-
that.
Yeah. Wait until the near someone, press circle, and then they're gone. Sorry.
I was always waiting for it to just blow up, but I'd always miss and it just blow up on the side of the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
No, I've been really tricky this time with the bombs. I've been using the backwards view with R2,
Uh-huh.
and then as soon as somebody's behind me, shoot it backwards, press circle, blow them up. It's great.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the TNT and the Nitro box? Obviously, the TNT, if it gets on you, it'll blow up, and then you can bounce to get
Yeah.
rid of it. But did the Nitro just shuffle what weapon they had?
Nitro blows you up straight away. It just
Yeah.
knocks
Yeah.
you over
You
straight
have
away.
no
Just
chance
you,
if you.
you hit it, you're gone.
Huh. Okay. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
How have you played through the game and not know that?
Speaking of which, let me talk about the wipeouts in this game. They take way too long. You
Yeah.
bounce
They do, actually,
5
yes.
times.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario Kart, I think, of the 3 is super balanced. Diddy Kong, the wipeouts mean fucking nothing. You hit someone with a missile and they just drop and keep going. But Crash, they take way too long.
You want to try falling off the edge as well, just afterwards. And you're really behind.
Usually, if I fall off, I just
Really?
restart the race.
I'll say
But what I
did-
didn't like
you can still make a comeback if you do it quick enough.
with the controls, though, I was getting really irritated that circle was to use your weapons because I had to take my finger off of X.
Don't
then.
you know
So,
how to
you,
move your
slowed-
thumb over and just kind
No.
of press it?
That's so awkward. Like you'd have to move your entire hand. Ugh.
Oh,
You must have
just use the tip
really
of your
small
thumb.
thumbs.
I don't know. Like no, that yeah, you'd have to move your whole hand.
How did you
That's
ever
not
play the
good.
original Mario where you have to run and jump at the same time?
Because that was beside each other. This is like
So
diagonal.
are these. You just turn your controller a little bit and they're right beside each other. It's the same concept.
No,
I tell you what I love about Crash as well. I love the little hop mechanic. You
Yeah.
can jump
yeah.
off the jumps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
That's a lifesaver. If you're really good, you can go through the whole track constantly boosting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
which is what I've been
the
doing.
one track that I really liked was I think it was the Cortex sewers or the N Cortex sewers or the Oxide sewers or something like that. Anyway, you're down in the sewers.
Sewer Speedway, Eric. Come on.
I don't know. I didn't commit all these to memory. I played like 72 different tracks this week.
Is that the one with the barrel? The barrel's like rolling.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like that one.
That one was fun.
So yeah, I like Tiger Temple because it has that shortcut.
I didn't really notice
That's
a
personal.
whole lot of obvious shortcuts. Obviously, there was the one in the Air Track Speedway where you have to be boosting when you hit the launch pad and then jump at the right time, and you can kind of cut the corner. But that one, I just determined it's
yeah.
not worth risking it because if you fall off, you're screwed.
It is worth risking it. It really is. But there's one of my favorites is it's on the Polar Express or something it's called, I think. And you drive towards, you go through this tunnel with like little bumps through it, and then at the end there's a wall, and you have to kind of go right to go around the wall, and then it loops back to the left. But if you're really good and you've got enough speed, you can jump straight over the wall.
Really?
I had that track down to the point where I would come up at it at just an angle and start power sliding before, so I would cut just the corner, like the front of my cart would skim the nose of that wall, and I'd drop down and boost around the corner.
But if you go back to that sewer speedway level again, Eric, there is actually a shortcut in that one, but it's really hard to get to. Like, really hard. When you first come out, you go through like 2 red tunnels, don't you, that kind of crisscross through each other? Can you remember?
Yeah.
And then you drop down into the main sewer, which is like the half pipe. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you're in the half pipe, if you look to the right, there's like a big window up on the wall. And if you drive towards that, you have to kind of angle off the half pipe, have enough speed, and then jump at the last second. And if you get up there, then there's another path you can go down.
Jesus.
And but it's like that one is the most difficult to get to probably in the game. So
the tracks in this game are great. There wasn't a single track that I didn't like. Obviously, I didn't care for the Air Track Speedway just because it was super difficult. But they were all super fun. They were really varied and challenging. Definitely challenging. For someone who doesn't know the track, just coming into it, it's like, all right, I'm going to lose this first time, but I need to learn the track.
Yeah.
I like the engine guy, the one with like the kind of like half robotic kind of face or whatever. You know the guy? Yeah. And he like, sometimes he just like launches a missile too, and he's like, "One for the road."
Yeah.
That was a good impression. I like that one. You guys know the secret characters as well in Crash Team Racing?
I did not.
No.
No, I didn't know
there's N Trophy, who was off Crash 3, and then there's you can play as Fake Crash, who's like Crash but has serious eyebrows, and then there's a guy called Penta Penguin or something. And then you can unlock Papu Papu, who's the big fat guy who's a boss, Ripperoo, who's a boss, Pinstripe, who's a boss.
No way.
And Komodo Joe, who's a boss.
Huh.
How do you unlock them?
And then you can use them in... I think it's only cheats. But then you can use them in the arcade mode, in the cups, and you can also use them in the battle mode, which is... did anybody try battle mode?
No.
By the way?
So I feel like we've only talked about the first half of this game, because the adventure mode is 4 worlds, 4 tracks, 4 bosses, and then you get the credits. But if you really want to beat the game, you have to go through, and each track you can do a race, you can do a relic race, and a Crash Team Racing challenge. And I got 2 relics out of 16 tracks. I was only able to get 2.
I'm up to 5.
They are super difficult. So Jess or Tom, did you guys try any of the relic races?
Is that where you have to collect everything before, like, in 30 seconds or something?
Kind of, yeah. They put you on the track. You're not racing against anybody, but you have to beat a certain time, and there are boxes around the track that have different numbers on them. And when you break one of those boxes, it'll pause the clock for that many seconds. And you have to complete 3 laps before the time is up. It doesn't matter how many boxes you collect, but the boxes help you stop the timer. So you do have to collect a majority of them. And it just, some of the boxes are in super difficult spots, and most of them I would miss by like a second or 2 seconds, and it's just, I couldn't perfect the track enough to get it down.
I only attempted
a couple of them. Eric.
Hey, at least I tried.
Child's play.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have half as many as you do, and you only have 5, Mr. Crash Team Expert.
Yes, but I accidentally lost all my progress, otherwise I would be much further today. And I only started playing it yesterday, so...
It's not a long game.
Shh. I know, I beat it twice since yesterday.
What are the CTR challenges? I didn't do any of those.
CTR challenges, you have to come in first and collect the letters C, T, and R, which are spread around the track.
I did do one.
And they are rock hard.
Yeah.
Even if you go at the very first level, which is on the beach... you have to, I think it's the T. It's up, when you first start the level, you go round a corner, then over a ramp, and into some water. And if you look, then there's a bridge which goes over you. And then you kind of have to come out of the water, hit this jump at an angle, do a hop, then you go up on a thing that's to the left, and then you can go on this bridge. You have to drive very carefully over to the T, then drop off, then get the C and the R, and win the race.
Yeah, that one was super frustrating, because you pretty much have to commit yourself to being in last place halfway through the first lap, and then you have a ton of ground to make up.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like,
I just can't imagine
again,
some of the later tracks that I really struggled with. Like, okay, now I have to just deviate and collect this shit and then try to win. I couldn't fathom it.
You just have to get better at it.
I do. I'm just shit at this game, I guess.
That's why it's called the challenge.
I do like how it
then
leaves that there's more to do. Like we were talking about in Mario Kart, it's just, okay, hey, I'm done with the Grand Prix. What do I do? Want to play it again? Sure. This, you're done with the game, and now you have all this stuff to actually work towards, and it forces you to learn the tracks and become super proficient at it. So there's more to do to it, and I like that.
But then, once you're done with adventure mode, you can go into arcade mode, and you can do single or cup races, and then you get points for every race you do. Then you have a leaderboard, so that's a blast to play with your friends. Then you've also got the battle mode, which is where you're each starting unique tracks, which aren't actually in the adventure mode. And they're like enclosed in squares, and you have to collect items, and you have to try and attack each other, and you lose lives every time you get hit. And those are really good as well.
Unfortunately, I did not play any of that.
I feel for sure it's like a much more robust game.
There's a lot more in it.
Yeah.
A lot more in it. Yeah.
Let's talk about Diddy Kong for a little bit.
Go on, you say your major gripe first.
My major...
What did Crash do to Diddy Kong?
What?
You were moaning earlier in the week going, I like Crash, but it just copied off Diddy Kong.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100% copied it, shot for shot. Here's why. It's the exact same layout, 4 worlds, 4 tracks in each, 4 bosses, and then, hey, once you're done and you beat the game, guess what? Now you get to go back through and do a race where you have to collect shit, and then beat them all again, and then beat all the bosses again, and then you can beat the final boss. It is the exact same game as Diddy Kong. They may have improved upon...
Is that such a bad thing?
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't feel like it's different enough. They added weapons, they made the tracks a hell of a lot more difficult, the bosses are just stupidly hard, but it's just a pure carbon copy.
Yeah, I think maybe from a business sense they were thinking, okay, PlayStation doesn't have its kart racer. Crash Bandicoot is kind of the mascot of the PlayStation, so we need something out there. Let's stand on the shoulders of giants. Like, what's good out there? Diddy Kong, Mario Kart. Let's look at those 2 games. And yeah, they certainly drew inspiration from those guys.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's kind of like what PlayStation did with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. They just pulled exactly from Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, totally.
And I can see.
You know, I've got that game. I've only played it once.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Literally once. Because again, that didn't have an adventure mode, so it lost my interest. It's the same with the new Super Smash Brothers. They took out the Subspace Emissary of the Wii version.
I swear, Dan, if Tetris didn't have an adventure mode, you wouldn't play it.
I wouldn't. I seriously wouldn't. It bores me greatly. I need progression. I need to collect stuff.
So let's talk about Diddy Kong. As I mentioned, it's the exact same layout as we talked about in Crash Team. The one major difference here is that the races are broken up into different vehicles. You have your car, the airplane, and the hovercraft. And each of the worlds is designed for one specific vehicle, but then you can also go back and redo those races in versus mode using different vehicles on the different weapons. So if you want to fly through one of the water levels, you can. Or if you want to use a hovercraft on a car level, you can, and so on. You can kind of mix and match.
Okay, how can you use a cart in the water level?
I don't think they let you do that one. When you go to the versus mode, they'll give you options for the vehicles available for that level. So,
yeah. Do you know what? My biggest problem with Diddy Kong was actually in the first world. So it was so confusing. I collected 4 balloons, and then I had to go into the 5th door, and I was like, how do I get there? Yeah. I've got all the balloons. And I was like, this is not... I just drove all around the world, like, asking that elephant thing what's going on. And it turned out, and I don't even know how I found out in the end, but I think I might have just had to Google it, that I had to actually fly, change into a plane and then fly to one of the balloons. Nowhere on the game does it tell you to do that.
I had no idea how to get that 5th balloon.
Or if you wanted to, you could have changed into the airplane and gone into the snow world and started the races there.
See, I was stuck with that too. I had to Google, like, 4 balloons, where the fuck is 5th?
Yeah.
The elephant will
I almost
occasionally
restarted the game.
the elephant will occasionally challenge you to races. He'll challenge you to a car, hovercraft, and a plane race, each for a balloon. But there is that one balloon up on the cliff by the waterfall.
Yeah, that's the one I went to get.
There's actually 5 balloons hidden in the world, I think.
Yeah,
So
there is. And then there's the 5 balloons, and then the 3. So there's 8 that you can technically get from not racing.
Yeah, so what I like about Diddy Kong is they kind of incorporate their world area into the game a bit more than Crash. Like, you don't have to be involved in a race to be still continuing with progressing through the game. So,
see, that's what Rare's always done very well. The world building is very good in their games, like Conker and Banjo and stuff like that. It's all very. There's lots of intricate bits that kind of link together and stuff like that. It's kind of like a primitive Dark Souls, really.
How the hell are you making that connection?
Because the worlds are connected.
Diddy Kong is just like Dark Souls.
It is.
That's funny.
Not Diddy Kong, but Donkey Kong Returns, and definitely Conker, because some of the levels link back to the other levels and stuff like that. I remember that. So screw you.
What else did you guys like about Diddy Kong?
I fucking hated the hovercraft.
It's just because you're terrible at it.
Yeah, that is.
I was like, I don't
There's
know.
nothing wrong with the hovercrafts at all.
Did the characters mean different things? Like,
Yes. Are you talking about in terms of?
There's no way of telling the difference on Diddy Kong.
No.
Yeah.
And to give you a heads up, Tip Tup is pretty much the best. He's the one I've always played with, and then I started reading about the characters, and it's kind of universally accepted that Tip Tup's the fastest, has the best handling, best acceleration. He's pretty good. Who did you guys all play with?
I was Banjo.
Conker.
Banjo. Yeah, Conker's not bad.
Go.
Yeah, I would have thought Diddy Kong would have been the most balanced and possibly best character. Like in Crash Team Racing, Crash is generally...
But Diddy Kong's bollocks. I don't even know why it's named after him.
Yeah.
I think they were capitalizing.
They could have given a better front.
They were probably trying to capitalize on the success of Donkey Kong at the time.
Why didn't they just have it called Donkey Kong Racing?
Because Donkey Kong was in Mario Kart.
So
you can't pull him from his other game. People riot. And then they'd sit and wonder, why isn't Mario in Donkey Kong Racing? And then it's like, why the fuck do we have 2 games?
but I like the graphics in that, like Diddy Kong as well. I think they held up nicely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's all right.
They were smoother than Mario Kart, I thought.
The game aged well. Definitely aged.
Yeah.
Everything's smoother than Mario Kart. But I actually started playing Diddy Kong earlier in the week, and then I talked to Eric about it the day after. I was like, this is really bad. And then I got to a couple of days later, I played it some more, and I ended up playing it till 1 a.m. and getting up to like the last world. And and I was like, it's got a lot better. I think it was when I found out that you could fly planes and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this has got more depth to it. Because I was really underwhelmed by the weapons and stuff like that originally.
That is
Yeah, like the different options. Like the different worlds require different vehicles.
Yeah. I back to your point, Dan, I think the weapons in this game out of the 3 are the worst. But the one piece that kind of salvages it is that you can stack the weapons. So there's 4 or 5 different colored balloons. You have your missiles, you have your oil slick, you have the electro shield, and then
The
jets. So there's 4. But if you collect 1, it's just a basic level. For the missiles, it's 1. If you collect 2, it turns into a homing missile. And then if you collect 3, you get 10 basic missiles. Or the boost, it's a small boost, a medium, or an extra large. So there's a little bit of strategy involved in that. But they are still very, very, very lackluster.
What is like the 3rd level of the oil slick? Because it went like oil slick and then like the little bomb thing. Like a mine, I guess.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think I ever collected those. At least I didn't try to actively collect 3 of them.
Oh, what was the rainbow balloon?
The rainbow balloon
Like,
is
it
a
was
magnet.
Crazy. Yeah.
So if you're close to somebody and you hit it, it instantly pulls you up to them. And that becomes very, very, very important once you beat the game once and you start going through to get the silver coins, because a lot of the silver coins you have to deviate from the track, and you pretty much need to have a magnet in your arsenal so that you can get close to somebody that's ahead of you and pull yourself back up into the race.
I think I used it when no one was around and nothing happened, and then I just never got them again.
I thought it would attract the bananas.
No, they're super good. And Dan, you were asking about the bananas before, and they're kind of like the Wampa fruit from Crash Team, where if you collect 10 of them, your cart
you go faster.
Kind of goes faster. It's not really noticeable, so I never waste my time with it.
It is noticeable on Crash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But, did you guys know on Diddy Kong you can find like hidden keys on some of the levels as well?
Yeah.
I actually found one. I went off the track. I was like, that bit looks suspicious. I went off the track and there's a key, and then it unlocks it's basically the battle mode of Crash, where you go around the track and you have to kill people with lives and stuff.
Because if you're getting the key, you don't have to come in first to keep the key. So you can drive all over and Sunday drive through that level, and it doesn't matter.
But of course, not every level has a key, so you might be wasting your time.
Yeah, that one's better to just look them up if you want to save some time. So once you collect all the balloons, they unlock boss battles, and this is where I think that Diddy Kong excels over Crash Team is the variation of the bosses. In Crash Team, every boss was the same. They're super fast and they just drop explosive shit out in front of you. This one, the first one, you're racing a rhinoceros up a mountain, and he's not ridiculously.
It's a dinosaur.
Is it? It's a triceratops. Okay,
yes.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
He's not ridiculously fast, but he's fast enough to kind of keep you on your toes, where you kind of have to be strategic about which balloons you pick up, because they just have the missiles and they have the boost. So do you want to hold on to a missile in case he gets ahead of you, or do you want to go for the boost ones, which are a little bit more difficult to get, but get them and keep pushing yourself further ahead?
Did you notice on that boss it has a shortcut at the end where you can just basically, even if he's ahead of you, just beat him anyway?
How?
It's just when you go around the last corner, there's a little section where you can just go up a ramp and completely he's still going around the mountain, you just go up a ramp and you're at the top.
I did not.
So I did that because I lost 3 times, and then I was like, oh, there's a ramp. Easy.
I think the most...
See, I liked the bosses in this one. I felt like it was a lot more balanced. It wasn't crazy coming up right behind you and then it passes you for no reason.
Well, they were fun. They weren't just on the tracks. I mean, you're going up the side of a mountain. The walrus one, you're going down a bobsled track. And then the only one that really sucked was the octopus boss.
Yeah, that's bad.
His was just ridiculous because he was very similar to a Crash Team boss where he's just dropping explosives in front of you, and you pretty much have to just save up your boost for the final straightaway to the finish and just pass him there.
That boss must have been what Naughty Dog copied off, right,
Yep,
Eric?
perfectly. This is hard. Let's do all of our bosses this way, except make them harder. And then the fourth one was... Oh, wow. Why can't I remember what the fourth boss was?
I didn't get that far, so I can't tell you.
So anyway, I feel like this game is a lot like... Well, I feel like this game, in comparison to CTR, there's actually more to it, because once you beat the bosses... It's technically not the end of the game, because when you beat the boss, they say, now go through all the levels, collect the silver coins, and win, and then come back and see me. So each of the tracks starts up again, and they have 8 silver coins within, and they're all in stupidly ridiculous spots. You have to cut a corner super sharp or deviate off the track a little bit to get it, and then still come back and hit first place, and do that for all the tracks in one world, and then fight the boss again, and the boss is more difficult the second time around. They're faster, they use different weapons, just all around harder to beat. And once you do that, they give you a piece of the Whiz-Pig amulet, which if you go back out into the main world and look at the Whiz-Pig on the wall, parts of his face will turn colored instead of stone. And once you have all 4, his mouth opens up and you can challenge Whiz-Pig.
Oh.
And then, after you're done with the game and you beat Whiz-Pig, who is super hard... You can unlock Adventure 2 mode, which you collect silver-colored balloons and all the courses are mirrored. So you can technically go through the game again, but all the tracks are backwards.
And that's starting from the bottom and then going back through the level for the silver coins, twice.
This is after you get all the silver coin races completed and beat the final boss.
Yeah, so do you get to do the level twice with the mirror tracks?
Yeah, so you pretty much start the game completely over, but you collect the silver balloons. That's why if you look at if you're doing this and you look at the game saves page, instead of just the normal colored balloons, they'll be silver, so you can see I'm going through Adventure 2 mode and I've got 6 silver balloons.
Oh, that's cool.
It's definitely cool. There's a lot to it. I do have some gripes with the game, which I'm sure you guys can attest to. The lack of a boost function kind of makes things feel a little slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the handbrake though around corners and stuff. That's cool.
Well, I think that
feels
it's
good.
really cool when you're sliding and you let off the slide, whichever direction you're facing, you instantly start going that way. There's no slide aspect to it where it's like, okay, I'm not still drifting around this corner. So you can use it to cut corners really sharp, where if there's something hidden, like a boost pad just on the other side of a corner and you want to slide around it, so you're facing it and you let off and you just instantly hit it and go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
What else? I've talked too much about it. What else do you guys like or dislike about it?
I didn't like the dino egg level thingy.
The dino egg?
Like I think they're bonuses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There was
She's dreaming again.
no. You could go through and you could steal eggs from the fire, and then you have to put them in your nest.
That's kind of like the battle
Are
mode.
they like mini games? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't.
Those
like
are
that
super
one.
fun if
I
you
thought it
have
was
4
stupid.
players going. I mean, that's not integral to the game itself. Those are just bonus mini games.
I was glad.
Yeah, they're fun if you're playing with a bunch of people.
I could see that. It just wasn't fun playing against the computer because I feel like I just sucked. I think that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I liked the. I wasn't sure about Diddy Kong at first, and then I think I'm the same as Dan. Like once kind of planes and hovercrafts came into the situation, it started to really open up, and it was really good. And I just wonder, like, would Crash be as good if they just decided to put planes and hovercrafts in?
I think it would have been awesome.
Like, is that what Crash is missing? Perhaps, yeah.
I think it might be in the Crash sequel. I'm not sure.
I forgot that there were like 3 other Crash kart games.
Nitro Kart, and then Double Team or something
Really?
like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but they're all. That's when Crash declined in quality greatly.
Yeah.
So
They're
nobody
all
played them.
developed by like Traveller's Tales or other studios that
Basically,
totally
Crash Team Racing is the last Crash game developed by Naughty Dog, and then since then downhill
Just
slope.
kind of handed it off.
Yeah. Sad
Finally,
times.
obscurity. So I did like Crash Bash, mind. That
Yeah,
was
me
my
too.
Traveller's Tales. That was a collection of mini games.
Yeah, it was like the answer to Mario Party, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did like that.
it was good. But we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah.
So,
was there anything
right,
else?
guys, overall verdict.
Well,
which
hold on.
is the best
There's some more stuff about Diddy Kong.
Okay, sorry.
Did any of you find the secret 5th world?
I didn't get up to the 4th. I couldn't even find the 4th.
The
Where's
fourth one was hidden behind the waterfall.
There's 3 waterfalls.
The
Which
one on the far left.
Okay.
There's a secret 5th world, and this one, if you collect all of the amulets and trophies before you challenge Wizpig, if you go to that lighthouse out on the beach and you honk at it,
This light. I knew there was something.
if
at
you
that.
honk at it, it transforms
Oh.
into a rocket, which takes you up to a space world. And then we were talking a little bit about there's a lack of the boost function. If you let go of the A button just before you hit the boost zippers, it actually, instead of gives you a small boost, it gives you a super boost, which is the same as 3 balloons. It's
Really?
kind of counterintuitive because, like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm about to hit this, let off the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it though. It adds a layer of strategy.
It does.
I found that out, and I was using it all
Yeah.
the time. It's good.
So that's pretty much the 3 games. I feel like we need to crown a champion of which one is the best, because that's a debate
God, this should be interesting.
that's a debate that rages on, and I think we might all be in agreement if we just say it's not Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I feel like, sorry, for different things. Like, I feel like Mario Kart is the winner in terms of like multiplayer party game.
Okay.
But why? You can play multiplayer on all the others.
Because it's the most well known. It has the most like,
But no, it's not. Crash was huge at the time.
I didn't know of it, and I was a
But
huge
not
gamer
for-
as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't mainly PlayStation
Yeah, I was.
gamer. I think I had an
I had
N64.
all of them.
Well, there you go. That's why. Basically, a lot of the people I knew, we only had PlayStations, so Crash was dominant.
But I think too the Nintendo characters are more recognizable. Like,
They are now because they've stood the test of time, whereas Crash faded into obscurity.
Yeah.
So, but back in the day, Crash was huge. Like, people would wait for that game to come out.
Well, they
every
would
year.
have PlayStation
sell
had the
loads.
Crash Bandicoot commercials where he's standing in the parking lot with a megaphone yelling at people and dancing. Do you guys remember those? Those commercials were awesome.
Yeah, they were really good.
Because they were trying
really
to
effective.
solidify Crash as the Sony mascot, where, Mario for Nintendo and Sonic for Sega. Sony needed one. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad they didn't solidify him, because I think it's helped the brand in terms of not pigeonholing themselves into a certain type of genre or game. Because people
Crash.
don't see Sony and think,
Crash.
oh, Crash. They think games. Halo kind of, or Master Chief is kind of the Xbox mascot, kind of. But, yeah.
I think Nathan Drake's the closest thing we've got nowadays.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Uncharted kart racing?
What was they had one where they were all out
It was
of
Little Big Planet kart racing.
The
Yeah,
game was
I've got
too
that.
in depth.
Yeah, it's weird.
See, they've went to the other extreme now.
What were you saying, Jess?
They had a commercial maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago sometime, with a lot of the PlayStation characters at a bar.
Oh, that was such a good advert.
What was
great.
it?
I can't remember what it was for.
It had
I don't
it was
remember.
live action, Eric. But people were dressed up as like Kratos and like Nathan Drake and all the characters and stuff, and they were just all chilling in a bar. And it was really
Maybe
cool.
look that up. That sounds awesome.
Then they did it like when the PS4 first came out. They did like kind of a history of PlayStation advert as well. Where it had it was live action, but it had loads of different stuff. And then like people got up in arms because in the background you could see Crash Bandicoot on a sign, and everybody thought it was making a comeback, but it wasn't. So it's very good.
All right, so back to which one. I think Jess does have a point. Mario Kart is great for accessibility. If you were to have a house party and wanted to have a kart racing game out, I think this one would be the most universally accepted one, but I don't think that makes it the best one.
Yes. I'm crowning it for a different category.
If you had
fair
a
enough.
group of just casual gamers, yes, go with Mario Kart. But I think if you had a group of really hardcore gamers, I would probably say pull out Crash Team, because it's going to be the most intense. It's going to be the one that requires the most strategy and most gaming prowess.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my take on that.
I think so.
But Diddy Kong,
Yeah, because like Nintendo has that pick up and play aspect for both games. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of for everyone, even just the kind of the content, age wise, it attracts kids, it attracts adults, and not to say that Crash isn't played by kids, but it is, like you say, a bit of a harder game, and it probably does attract that slightly maturer gamer.
I think it's very off-putting
So
to people who aren't familiar with it.
yeah,
Tell that
Yeah.
to 10-year-old me.
I think for it,
But I used to play that a lot with my friends. So
yeah, me
back
too.
before all your friends turned
but
into
I can
non-gamers
understand.
and moved.
yeah,
I think Diddy Kong would take, for at least for me, and this is probably where we're all going to differ, but I think for me, Diddy Kong takes the crown as the best single-player experience because of the variety within. It may be lacking in terms of weapons and no boost mechanic, but in terms of world construction and race variation and boss variation and just overall cohesion of the game, I think it's the best of the three.
I shall disagree and say that Crash has the best tracks, the boost function, it has the hop mechanic, it has great weapons, great characters.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun. So
See, I found myself enjoying Crash more, I think.
yeah, definitely.
I'll open up to that as well too. I think Crash is more fun to play. I think the adventure mode could have been a little bit more fleshed out with a little bit more originality to it.
You're just bitter because you can't do the relic races.
I'll go back and do them.
All right, good. So you should.
I don't know. Other thoughts?
Yeah, I think it just depends what you want out of a kart racer. And I want to feel like I'm going really fast, good weapons, interesting tracks, and decent like array of characters, I guess. Like characters can still matter. So I guess I'd probably go with Crash. But if I was focused on an open world with more of a story, I mean, yeah, Diddy Kong has got it all with that aspect. And throw in like extra 2 categories of vehicles, and it's got quite a bit more depth to it. I've definitely played way more Crash than I have Diddy Kong, and I would like to carry on with Diddy Kong and see how I get on.
I definitely
I do think there's more to it than I've experienced.
I definitely suggest it, because once you start getting into the silver coin races, they get really difficult, and then flipping into adventure mode too, there's just so much to it, and especially you add that fifth secret world to it. I'd be willing to say that as a kart racer, Crash Team is better in terms of the actual racing mechanics to it. The weapons are great, the boost mechanic, the track design, the complexity to it, the difficulty. It's all far superior to Diddy Kong. I prefer Diddy Kong's adventure mode to Crash Team's.
Yeah. And it's amazing when you think about it. Like, Naughty Dog had made Crash, Crash 2, Crash Warped, and then they made a kart racer, and it was a really good one. And this was like a small studio at the time. Half the team were working on Jak and Daxter for the PS2. Half the team worked on Crash Team Racing, and they had half of a small studio working on this kart racer, and they were really struggling. And yeah, they delivered a pretty solid title for the PlayStation for the time.
But that's really because they just copied off Diddy Kong, right, Eric?
Straight up, straight copy. No, I'm
just changed the skins.
I'm willing to admit that Crash Team is probably the better kart racer in terms of actual kart racing mechanics. I will not concede, though, that Diddy Kong has a better adventure mode. That's my one caveat to that concession.
See,
I think
we're
that's fair
crowning
enough.
3 of them for different reasons.
I think that's probably the best
I think Crash Team wins overall, probably.
Yeah. I think if we were all 4 to sit
if
down...
if you were nailed to a wall and had to pick one, which would be the best?
If I was, to a wall?
Nailed to a wall, and somebody forced you to pick one.
I feel like I would not pick one because they nailed me to a wall.
I'd be more
so
concerned about getting off the wall.
Yeah.
I think if...
Fine, if you had a gun to your head.
If
I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm playing America line.
What about if I took your poos?
Then shit would get real. I think I would say Crash Team then.
Yeah, if all 4 of us were hanging out together, I think we'd probably end up playing more Crash Team than anything else.
Yeah.
So
get out the old multi-tap.
Yeah. So is that what we're going with, Crash Team? For kart racing overall experience, but the other games have their victories in their own sense.
Yes.
Sweet. I did not expect to come into this episode.
We did it. We made a decision.
I did not expect to come into this episode crowning Crash Team as the victor. I was planning on fighting for Diddy Kong to the death, but after talking it out, Crash Team is a better kart racer. Yeah. It is good.
We changed Eric's mind. This never happens.
Very, very rarely does. Any final thoughts on it? Any of the games?
Play Crash.
Yes, definitely play it. If you're even a remote fan of kart racing, play Crash.
It's currently £4 on the PSN.
Or $5.99 in real money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We do have an email this week. If you want to shoot us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com. This one comes from Brienne Miller. She writes in, "Hey, Factory Sealed crew, last episode you mentioned Shadow Hearts, which has a turn-based system using the Judgment Ring. I was wondering what your favorite JRPG battle system is. I'm playing through some of the Tales games right now, which has a linear motion battle system. I really like the battle system in the Grandia games the best. Love the show and interested in hearing your answers. Bree."
Oh God, that's
a very tough question. I saw this come through earlier in the week, and I've been thinking about it, and I still really cannot pick a favorite because each of them has their own. They have their own merits.
Yeah.
See, I would say Final Fantasy X.
I was thinking that too
because it's an expansion of the old active time battle system, and you can switch out your characters in real time. And I love the sphere grid as well. You can upgrade your characters as you want, stuff like that.
This
and I think that's really
may
good.
kind of come as a shock, but I really enjoy Final Fantasy XIII's paradigm system.
I do too. I don't know why it gets so much
because
flack.
once you're later in the game and you have all these different paradigms and you can set them up and you can just flip between, and you have to flip between them. If you go into the battle just expecting to
It
stay
gets really
in
difficult.
one paradigm, I mean, you're switching paradigms 3, 4, 5 times a minute. It gets to be a ton of fun. But I don't like how you can only control your character.
Yeah, that's the worst bit. But I don't think it would work with the others.
And obviously,
So I tell you what's a very underrated RPG system. Did anybody ever play Lost Odyssey?
No, you've tried to get me into that for years.
I have, but it's it has like a ring mechanic. You equip different rings, and when you hit attack, you have to hold right trigger, and it like kind of brings a ring into another ring, and you have to stop it at the right moment. And depending on when you stop it, it boosts your attack more. And it's a simple little mechanic, but it is actually very addictive, and it works very well.
Did you guys ever play? I think it's called Legaia.
Legend of Legaia.
Yeah, Legend of Legaia, but maybe not the PS1 one, but the PS2 one. But they might have the same battle mechanic. Was where you input like a row of directional commands, and then you may find out a new move from doing that.
That's very similar to the Legend of Legaia one.
Okay, yeah. So that's quite an interesting one, and the Judgment Ring in Shadow Hearts is pretty cool, actually. So what happens is a disc appears, and it's got highlighted sections on the disc, and then like just a line goes around, like a second hand on a clock, and you just have to push X or whatever button into the correct square, into the correct coloured segment. So it's a little bit like, but then I quite like it when it's just a normal turn-based system like Final Fantasies, but they incorporate these bits inside limit breaks, like the way Final Fantasy does with Zells in Final Fantasy VIII, when you're just like...
I love that limit break.
It's just great, isn't it? You can just carry on with it. You get really good, and you can do so many moves in that 10 seconds you get, or whatever it is.
With Final Fantasy VIII, you can just spam limit breaks by keeping your characters on low health for like the entire game.
I think Final Fantasy VIII comes in
you can
as
just kill
one of my favorite battle systems too, just simply because of the draw and junction system.
Yeah. I like that
7 is okay.
I like it, but a lot of people don't. So.
Yeah, you can. It's very easy to abuse if you just want to spend time farming for Ultima and just other really super powerful spells. Then it becomes kind of stupid easy. It's an easy system to exploit, but it's fun.
I remember thinking that Final Fantasy VIII was to begin with so simple, because after coming off the back of 7 and then playing 8, and then you go into a battle and you just see your name, hit points, and then a weight bar, and that was all it had. Compare that with 7, and you had like, a bar for the barrier and HP total, as well as the actual HP, and all these extras and stuff. So, but then
I didn't actually know about the junction mechanic until adulthood.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
No way.
You didn't.
I knew how to attach magic, GF, and draw. I knew how to draw spells, but I didn't know you could attach them to your attributes.
You must have skipped a lot of the tutorials from Aquistas.
I just didn't pay attention. I had low attention span as a child.
It was quite complicated to get your head around to begin with, but once you nailed it, it was a great battle system for sure. But I couldn't pick one. I don't know what.
I was looking through.
I guess I'd choose. No, I was going to say I guess I would choose 10 as well, because it's a nice fusion between old style Final Fantasy and what we see today.
What about the Gambit system from 12?
I never played 12.
I like it, but it's kind of annoying at the same time.
I feel like it removes you a little bit too much from the action. It almost kicks it over too far into the MMO realm.
See, I always make sure that my main character, I always control them rather than them doing things automatically, apart from maybe doing buff spells like Protect and stuff like that. But I will always direct them to where they're attacking.
After having played 13, it's easy to see how they made that transition, because if you think about it, the battle system from 13 is very similar to 12 in that, like you just said, you really only control your character and you set up gambits for the other people hoping that they work. So it's kind of an interesting.
Yeah, I reloaded my 120-hour save from Final Fantasy 12, and my characters have like the most complex gambits set up, and I'm like, how did I work this out? As soon as one character doesn't have haste anymore, another character will start casting haste again on the whole party, and then there's buffs for which like double your HP and stuff like that. I'm like, my God,
12-year-old Dan had too much time.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play the Tales games?
No, I've been meaning to.
Any of them? They're really good. Their battle system seems to be kind of similar to the Grandia series, to the Star Ocean series, those kind of ones where the characters are running around and you just get like a standard turn-based kind of thing, but they kind of move around an arena.
So it's kind of like Ni no Kuni and Radiata Stories.
And Kingdom Hearts.
I've got Ni no Kuni now, but I haven't played it yet.
Play it now.
But, yeah.
Play it.
But
Get it.
Get it.
Jess, what about you? What's your favorite battle system?
My
She
least
hasn't
No,
played
your
them.
favorite one.
would be. No, but I hated. What was the Mother? Was it Mother 3 with the music?
The rhythm based
I hated
one.
that. Yeah, it was stupid. Stupid. I don't know.
Oh, that reminds. I like Paper Mario, where on the N64 when you can do timed moves where it like upgrades you. That's cool as. I love that one.
I would say if we're going with our least favorite, Chrono Cross for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Fuck that battle system.
Chrono Trigger as well.
Chrono Trigger is good, but Chrono Cross they have a battle system which it kind of blends magic and melee together, and you have to base everything off of elements, and the element thing at the top will change from color to color, and then that affects what you have to do, and it's not clear at all, and it's super obnoxious. It actually took me completely out of the game. The story's great, the gameplay is okay, but the battle system is so bad that I can't get past that. And when I first read this question earlier in the week, I started looking up some of the best battle systems that other people have thought, and Chrono Cross is consistently in the top 10 list. It's like, I cannot stand that battle system.
Wow. I don't think you guys would agree with me, but the battle system I most hate is the ones where your characters are kind of like on a big grid system, like a big chessboard, like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh.
Also, The Last Remnant.
Did
The Last
you
Remnant.
ever play Enchanted Arms on the Xbox 360?
Oh,
That
yes!
battle
No, I
system
didn't.
was a huge pile of crap.
I love
The
that
game was great, but the battle system was broken down. It was almost like a chessboard
It was so
where
hard.
you had all your characters on one
Yeah,
side and
right.
all the other characters on the other side, and there was the center line that you couldn't cross over, but your attacks would reach certain distance. It was just
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh, fuck. I hate that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, having to use up your moves to move your character one square.
See,
to the
I really
left and
enjoyed
stuff.
the
I
tactics
can't
games.
deal
If
with
it's
that.
like a tactics ogre or ogre battle or Final Fantasy Tactics, I know that's what this game is about, then I can get behind it.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
But did any of you play The Last Remnant, which was like that? It was a really crap RPG for the Xbox 360.
Not.
No? It was by Squeenix, and it was the first time they'd ever used the Unreal Engine, and it was so broken.
Huh.
But it used this grid-based system, and it was just like all the different... I can't even remember that much. I think I've still got it. I might boot it up and see how bad it is again. The actual RPG elements, like the roaming around the map and stuff, were really good. The battle system was good to a bit, and then it just got so complex that you couldn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
It was just so broken. But I'm gonna play that this week.
Do you
Really,
like
but-
Legend of Dragoons, Eric?
I did at the beginning, but that game is real slow when it comes to the battles, because as soon as you hit attack, your character
Yeah.
goes and attacks, and it's like a quick time battle. And then your
Yeah.
character's done, and it's okay, let's make the next person attack, and then it's another quick time event, and then just it's very, very, very slow.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though. Thank you for that question, Bree. If you guys want to send us...
Yeah, great question.
Yes, we actually talked about
We
that
need more
one.
questions like that require thought. That was a good one. In fact,
You see how much more we get done, Eric, when you wake up later.
Christ, maybe we should just do the show later every day.
Every
let's
day.
let's go daily. Let's just record daily.
Let's just not work anymore and just do this.
Well,
24
two of us
hours.
work from home. We could build it into our schedule. You guys could quit your jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, get some sponsors.
There are zero flaws with that plan.
None whatsoever.
Sounds great, right? Daily factory sealed, everyone.
There's no way we could play enough
I'm
games.
gonna have to step up my social media manager game.
No kidding. Any final thoughts before we close it out here, guys?
Nope.
Alrighty.
No.
Dan, where can we...
I've done all the thoughts I shall do
Where
for
can we
Sunday.
find you on Twitter, Dan?
Frosted Love.
Tom, where can we find you?
Hyper Jelly.
It's such a better name.
Jess, can we find you at I Am a Poos?
I am a poos.
Please change it.
I feel like after our conversation about the other definitions, don't think I'm going
Would
to.
you like some poos?
But-
No.
I want to see who follows you as a result. Every lonely Canadian male.
Dan, what was the question that was just so matter of fact? Was it, would you like some poos?
Would you like some poos? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it like...
Change yours to at want some poos. Where can we really find you?
I'm gonna change mine to Theodore.
I am a Jess. Next to Theodore Amos? Enos.
You can find me at Honest Pizza. Guys, what are we playing next week? I have a suggestion.
Oh no.
Oh.
And it stems
hear it.
off the N64 because I saw it in my drawer. And I kind of think it might hold up. I was thinking one of two options, either Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, or Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
I like the idea of Turok because I've never played that.
I'm easy, but that's no good. I've got the swing
Got the
vote.
decided volt on.
Yeah.
Say Turok.
I will kill your family.
Because I've already played Perfect Dark and I can't really remember Turok, I'll go Turok.
All right, remember, Turok 1, not Turok 2. Turok 2 is a pile of garbage. So, next week we'll be talking about shooting velociraptors with explosive shotgun shells and dying because the jump mechanic sucks.
Yeah, oh god, I remember that now.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for the show this week. We will be back. Poos is completely intact next week.
Oh, yeah.
Speak for yourself.
You're going to wreck that Poos.
Oh, God.